After Charlie Kirk was unalived, something strange happened. The spotlight didn't disappear, it moved. And now, people are asking whether Candace Owens stepped into a role Charlie once held. Hi guys, LiberalConservative here, back again with another video. Did Charlie Kirk swap destinies with Candace Owens? It's a question that sounds strange at first, almost like the plot of a political drama. But when you look at their careers, their paths, and their influence, you start to see a pattern that's actually pretty wild. Today, we're breaking it down. Now, before anyone gets confused, we're not talking about literally swapping lives or careers. Charlie Kirk was tragically unalived in September of 2025 while speaking at Utah Valley University. His life ended, but his influence didn't disappear overnight. His legacy still exists, but his presence obviously is no longer part of the day-to-day political conversation. Meanwhile, Candace continues to dominate media, social platforms, and cultural discourse, and some people online have started noticing the way these two figures' trajectories seem to intersect, and in some ways even swap in influence. Before we go deeper, let's define what people mean when they talk about a destiny swap. Online, the term is often used to describe a situation where two figures appear to trade roles, influence, or prominence, sometimes through timing, circumstance, opportunities, or tragedy. It's not mystical by default. It's more a way people describe sudden shifts in fate, power, opportunity, attention, or impact. In this case, some online conversations are asking whether Candace has stepped into a role Charlie Kirk once occupied, almost as if their public destinies crossed paths and swapped places. If you scroll through Twitter, Reddit, or YouTube comment sections, you see statements like, "It's almost like Charlie's influence passed to Candace," or "Candace is now carrying the spotlight Charlie once had." These patterns are what fuel the destiny swap conversation, not proof, but perception. Let's start with Charlie Kirk. As co-founder and leader of Turning Point USA, Kirk mobilized young conservatives nationwide. He built a structured, organized movement. He wasn't just a commentator, he was a strategist and institution builder. Charlie became the face of conservative youth politics. He had top-tier media access, Washington connections, and a growing national network of students who viewed him as their generational leader. Then came September 10th, 2025. Charlie Kirk was unalived at Utah Valley University. The shock waves were immediate. Even after his unaliving, his influence didn't vanish. People still reference his speeches, ideas, and strategies. But many argue that the momentum shifted. TPUSA remains powerful, but the media spotlight that once followed Charlie personally is now more diffuse. Leadership changes, internal challenges, and the absence of his public presence mean the organization doesn't command attention in quite the same way it once did. His influence was institutional, built on structure, hierarchy, and long-term movement building. Now, Candace Owens. Candace's rise followed a very different path. Although she has worked with conservative-focused organizations like TPUSA, Praga U, and the Daily Wire, Candace has always been her own brand. Even while affiliated with those organizations, she maintained independent visibility, reach, and influence. In many ways, it wasn't that those organizations made Candace. It was that Candace's visibility made collaboration with her valuable. She didn't rely on institutions to define her influence. She brought the influence with her. Her commentary, frequent appearances, and social media presence made her a household name. Unlike Charlie, her power isn't rooted in organizational leadership or hierarchy. It's rooted in personality, reach, and the ability to shape conversations in real time. Candace built a platform and community, not an institution. Candace's background also adds to her appeal. She was once a liberal commentator, went through legal and educational disputes, and then shifted politically. That evolution resonates with audiences who value ideological transformation and independence. So here's where the destiny swap idea really takes shape. Charlie's influence was institutional, structural, and organizational. Candace's influence is media-driven, personality-driven, and flexible. After Charlie's unaliving, Candace appears to occupy much of the cultural spotlight he once held. Charlie's legacy continues through TPUSA, but Candace's influence now dominates the real-time conversations. If you step back, it can look like their trajectories crossed and swapped. Kirk had structure but lost visibility due to tragedy. Candace didn't have institutional structure, but she gained momentum, reach, and attention at a scale that now rivals what Kirk once commanded. Now, this is where things get really interesting and controversial. Online, some people have taken the destinyswap idea even further into conspiracy territory. Let me be very clear, these are public speculations, not verified facts. Some theories suggest that Candace Owens was meant to be the target and that Charlie Kirk took the hit instead. They point to the alleged political motives involving France and Candace's coverage of Brigitte Macron. According to these narratives, Charlie's unaliving forced Candace to redirect her focus toward her best friend's unaliving and the circumstances surrounding it, pulling her attention away from her reporting on France and Brigitte Macron. These conversations gained traction after Candace publicly confirmed that Charlie Kirk contacted her on behalf of Trump, asking her to stop covering the Brigitte Macron story. Donald Trump also personally spoke to Candace, during which she was asked to stop covering the Brigitte Macron story. Those confirmed interactions became fuel for online speculation, with some framing Charlie's unaliving as a warning or deterrent, aimed at Candace, not as evidence, but as narrative momentum created by timing and circumstance. Again, to be absolutely clear, these are theories circulating online, not established or proven facts. Here's where things become even more symbolic. Candace Owens herself has spoken publicly about conversations she had with Charlie Kirk, where he allegedly expressed a belief that he would die young. According to Candace, Charlie sometimes spoke as if he sensed his life would be cut short, even suggesting that TPUSA would, in a way, be the death of him. Candace has also said that Charlie believed she would one day carry the torch, continuing the mission of awakening young people to political truths, almost in a biblical sense, like a successor figure. Now, whether someone views that as spiritual intuition, coincidence, or simply hindsight, it adds a powerful layer to the destiny swap conversation, not as proof, but as symbolism. It feeds the idea that even Charlie himself may have believed his influence would one day swap with and pass on to Candace. What does this all mean, you might ask? Well, what this really shows is how influence works today. It's no longer just about who leads an organization. No, it's about who controls the narrative, who stays culturally relevant, and who adapts to modern media. Charlie's legacy lives on through structure, succession, and institutional continuity. Candace's influence lives through voice, reach, and personal brand. And unlike an organization, Candace doesn't need a successor. Anyone can follow in her footsteps and build a platform because her influence model is flexible and decentralized. That's why people talk about a swap, not literally, but symbolically. So, did Charlie Kirk swap Destinies with Candace Owens? To me, not literally, but in terms of influence, cultural weight, attention, opportunities, and narrative power, it's a compelling way to frame what people are seeing and saying. Now guys, what do you think? Has Candace stepped into a role Kirk once occupied? Is this just coincidence and timing? Or are the conspiracy theories simply a product of internet age? Feel free to drop your thoughts in the comments, but please be respectful. I will be reading them. And if you want more commentaries like this, hit that subscribe button. I post commentary every single day. See you in the next video.